Hey guys, Level Cap here, and today I want to talk about updates to Battlefield 5. What's been updated today with a new patch, what's been changing in the past few weeks, and what to expect this month. Today's update is a smaller one. Thankfully, though, it does fix the seizure-inducing flickering screen when entering the squad spawn menu. They have also made improvements to shotguns. Well, that's all the info DICE has on their shotgun change on their main page. Developers on Reddit have indicated that it should make them more consistent overall and hopefully better for more game modes, since they kind of suck on anything that doesn't have super close quarters infantry and also isn't too choke pointed. So there's like 2 or 3 situations where they're decent. They allegedly fixed the end of round company coin counter, so hopefully it won't confuse you with the false 2000 company coin messages after you hit max rank. However, there was a tweet from Danny on PC indicating that it actually was still inaccurate and that if you made progress on an assignment, it would still give you the award for the company coin in the end screen, even though you weren't awarded that company coin. So I guess it's sort of like a half fix to the company coin issue. Beyond that, there have been a few stability improvements made that have not been detailed in the patch notes. So a small patch with even smaller patch notes. I'm kind of disappointed on the lack of detail regarding things like the shotguns or maybe some of the stability improvements, as I've had plenty of performance issues with my game and I would love to know if they're making any changes to the things that specifically are affecting my issues. Also, a new background image was data mined from the game files for a map called Province. Now, there is a slight chance that this is tied into some of the single player assets, as there was the French campaign from single player, but it could be a new map that's coming up. This is a famous bridge in the south of France, and it looks really cool. The thing is it's not Greece, so is this the map that's coming in the Greece DLC? Is this a different map entirely? Is it just an asset from single player? We don't really have many details since it was data mined from the game files, but it looks beautiful and it looked like it could be a pretty darn cool multiplayer map. It's also started off some speculation that maybe there will be some French DLC content. Since the French were included in single player, there's already some French assets in the game. Maybe DICE would just implement that in multiplayer. So there's a lot of speculation as to what this image could be, what it could mean for future content, and I'm looking forward to really any of the options. New maps are great. I really don't care too much about what else the context is. As long as we're getting a cool new map, wonderful. We also do have confirmation that DICE is going to increase the level cap at some point in the near future. When this is happening is a complete mystery, but they did say they're working on it right now and they're trying to get it implemented as soon as possible. Hopefully this time they'll do some better calculations with the average score per minute and allow players to really shoot for some very lofty rank goals, things that'll take hundreds of hours to get to. Now, you may have noticed a bunch of new assignments in your queue last week and over the weekend, and by a bunch, I mean a ridiculous cluttering of chaos and confusion in the assignments area, all mixed together with weapon assignments. There are new assignment types now that auto-generate when you earn enough experience. For example, if you earn 15,000 XP playing as the Assault, it will generate a new Assault-oriented assignment with a random set of properties related to Assault requirements. Most of the assignments look like they're worth about 400 company coin, though I've seen a few for 200 or even 600. Not an insane amount, but it does add more ways to generate company coin at a quicker pace, and if you're really dedicated to a specific class, you can potentially maximize your company coin generation if you're efficient about it and keeping assignments equipped. The problem, of course, is that you still need to leave a round in order to equip assignments, so this would require a lot of joining and leaving, but then again, so does the majority of Battlefield 5's progression system. Also, with the sheer number of active assignments in a totally disorganized list, DICE needs to come up with some sort of sorting system. Breaking it down into class-relevant assignments might help out a little bit, or, you could always just have them all universally active all the time, like some of the previous Battlefield games. I swear the next patch of Battlefield is going to come with an in-game Excel document just to keep track of the assignment system. And while I appreciate DICE's intention of creating more ways to earn company coin, this is a somewhat convoluted implementation, especially since there isn't much in the way of an in-game indicator as to when and why you unlock new assignments. I feel like DICE's effort here again sort of resembles something that's being rushed to make sure that players have enough ways to generate company coin before implementing a paid microtransaction system. And speaking of paid microtransactions, when it comes to cosmetics, it seems likely that there's a massive array of new cosmetics just waiting to be released. The armory area has not updated in quite a while, and it just seems like DICE is trying to cover all their bases before they release a paid cosmetic system. As Battlefront 2 demonstrated, a poorly implemented or aggressively implemented microtransaction system can incur some heavy wrath from gamers, as we are all now seeing similar results with COD Black Ops 4 Loot Crate system. Perhaps all the new cosmetic stuff will go live with Firestorm, but I'd imagine we will be seeing it sometime this month. Squad Conquest is also coming back at some point, but apparently it's going to be queued up around some type of event. DICE has indicated that having too many game modes has already shown to be splintering the community and underpopulating certain game modes. I actually noticed this when I was playing on the Hanut servers, which were just rotating through Hanut maps, that it was actually really hard to get into a good game of Grand Operations or Breakthrough the normal times that I would play those maps, and so it kind of pulled too much of the player base into one type of server rotation. So I guess they're just trying to be more careful with it and recognizing that the player population, well, frankly, there isn't enough people to support infinite numbers of game modes, and you just kind of got to pick some good ones and stick with it. Now, following up on some of the new content, either for later this month or further in the future, YouTuber Westy found an old Reddit comment confirming that the new Greece location is only one map. If this is still DICE's intention, then this is extremely disappointing, considering that Firestorm is something that may not appeal to a large part of the core Battlefield community. So if Firestorm isn't of interest, then the next Tides of War update will bring only one new map. Now, generally speaking, if the other Tides of War content was bringing 3 or 4 maps, and then they're like, hey, we're giving you Firestorm, but it's only going to have the Firestorm map and then one base game map, I think people would be a bit more accepting of a reduction in map quantity. But since we've only gotten Panzerstorm so far, and then they've like kind of delayed the game modes for it and rolled it out in different Tides of War to try and make it feel like there's more content, but in reality we've only gotten one new map so far, I can see why people are going to be disappointed by this. And I really hope that next announcement for content is going to bring a lot of good news and a lot of potential maps. Speaking of which, we are slated to get the next major roadmap in just a few weeks. Mid-March, before Firestorm launches, is the official line from DICE, and it's believed to show what we might be getting from Battlefield 5 for the remainder of 2019. This will be one of the more important info drops for the game, as it will be an indicator of what resources and commitment DICE is putting behind Battlefield 5. Will it still have a chance to overcome its buggy, haphazard release that has underperformed in sales, or is DICE slated to create a trickle of content just enough to appease owners until they can announce their next Battlefield title? I know there are a lot of Battlefield fans that skipped Battlefield 5 this time around, but really all players and fans should be hoping for a very strong finish, or rather roadmap from DICE, as the performance and support of Battlefield 5 will likely represent the enthusiasm and support for their next game. If DICE shows that they've abandoned their current title or just put minimal effort behind it post-launch, what does that say about people wanting to adopt their next game? I hope DICE takes this message to heart, takes a page out of maybe Ubisoft's book, who have done an incredible job of supporting their games that may have slightly underperformed or not met their sales expectations at launch, and have continued to develop and work and keep large-scale dev teams on and produce high-quality live service content after launch. So far, DICE has underperformed with their launch content, likely due to a reduced production timeline, and they've also underperformed with their post-launch content in terms of map quantity. So this next roadmap is going to be the big question mark. Can DICE fully support a live service Battlefield game? We will see in the very near future. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.